Asimismo, el acuerdo incluye un gobierno de integración.
I'm also calling for the accord to create and include a verification commission.
President Micheletti, I'm so sorry, President Zelaya, if you could respond to the recent visit by 4 Republican lawmakers, Senator DeMint and 3 Republican congressmen, visited Honduras last week. They met with Micheletti. Have you had any contact with any U.S. lawmakers?
No conozco.
No.
Su visita
I wasn't aware of their visit.
Ni tengo comentarios.
Nor do I have a comment
sus posiciones.
About their position.
Si ellos vinieron a apoyar
if they came to support
Estado, creo que
the coup d'etat,
están cometiendo un error.
I think they're committing a grave mistake.
And your assessment of the support that President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have given you in attempting to return as the democratically elected president of Honduras, do you think they have done enough?
Bueno, creo que Estados Unidos ha hecho bastante.
I think the U.S. has done a great deal.
Creo que puede hacer más.
But I do think that the U.S. could do more.
What? What could the U.S. do?
En medidas comerciales,
I think
todavía no las ha
it could call for a trade embargo. It could take commercial measures in that regard.
Igual que perseguir algunas cuentas de los principales
I think that it could
financiadores
freeze
del golpe de Estado.
Bank accounts of the coup leaders and coup supporters.
Asimismo, considero, como
I
dije,
also think that it would
Obama,
be good
la secretaria Clinton,
that
y el
President
embajador de
Obama
Estados Unidos en Tegucigalpa
and Secretary of State Clinton and the ambassador
han hecho un gran esfuerzo por hacer entender a los
made a great
que dieron
effort
el golpe de Estado
to make the coup leaders understand
que ellos no apoyan
that they don't
procedimiento
support this
para resolver problemas.
procedure, that is the coup, to resolve the problems.
Sin embargo, todavía no es
Nonetheless,
suficiente
I don't think that they've done enough.
las medidas para revertir el golpe.
And clearly, these have not been sufficient measures to undo the coup d'etat.
Es necesario que Estados Unidos se manifieste
The United States needs to show
en la calificación del golpe de Estado militar.
And declare the coup d'etat a military coup d'etat. Call it by that name.
Y sobre las violaciones a los derechos humanos
With regard
después de 100 días,
to the human rights violations in the last 100 days, those too need to be denounced.
We are talking to the ousted President Manuel Zelaya. He has made it back into Honduras and has taken refuge in the Brazilian embassy in Tegucigalpa. Honduran troops are outside. At times, they are shooting tear gas. Anjali?
Can you describe what it's been like inside the embassy? Can you describe the scene?
Yes.
Bueno, lo que ha pasado ha sido
What
sumamente grosero
has occurred here is
hacia un
truly
presidente que su único delito es
rude treatment
luchar por
for
mejorar la
a
democracia
democratically
hondureña.
elected president. This is not how you treat a president who is fighting to reinstall democracy in his country.
Hemos sido reprimidos
We have been
fuertemente aquí
repressed
dentro de la embajada
and limited to
al
the embassy.
introducirse gases lacrimógenos.
There have been tear gas has been fired.
Y al tener interferencia electrónica,
Our electronic lines, our telephone lines have been cut.
y ataques de microonda que nos ha afectado la salud.
We've also been under attack from microwaves and the sound cannon, a long-range acoustic device.
What do you mean, acoustic device, a sound
Se
cannon?
colocó, bueno, hay dos tipos de armas
There are
no
two kinds
letales que
of
están
unconventional
utilizando
weapons that have been used against us
los del régimen de facto. Uno es
by the
un
regime.
sonido estridente que se usa para
There's a high-frequency
dispersar manifestaciones.
pitch that is been used against protesters.
Y otro es una
Another
energía
weapon
electrónica
that has
a
been
través
used
de
against
microondas
us is an electronic device that issues microwaves,
que afectan directamente la salud,
which
dolor de
is
cabeza
very
y
harmful
náuseas.
for your health. It causes headaches.
As president, do you know about this in the Honduran arsenal?
Sí, claro, esto fue
Yes, of course.
visto directamente por todos nosotros. Hay
We all suffered this. We all witnessed it.
fotografías y videos.
There's photographs and videos of this occurring.
And who is using this outside? The tear gas, the sound cannon, whatever you call it, the high-frequency machine. Is it Honduran soldiers?
Son fuerzas militares
There are military forces
que están rodeando la embajada
that have surrounded the embassy.
como un campo de concentración.
The embassy, in fact, has been turned into a concentration camp.
President Zelaya, I want to turn back to the question of how the U.S. has responded to your return. The U.S. representative to the Organization for American States described your return to Tegucigalpa as, quote, foolish and irresponsible. What's your response to that?
Yo considero que esa es
I
una
think
declaración
that statement
personal y
is
desafortunada.
unfortunate personal opinion of.
Que no valora mi sacrificio
I
y mi
don't think it
esfuerzo.
recognizes or acknowledges my efforts and the sacrifices I've made
Pacífico por reconstruir el sistema
and
democrático
the
en Honduras.
peaceful efforts that I've made to reinstall democracy in this country.
Yo asumiría como posición de Estados Unidos
I
las
think
declaraciones de la secretaria
that
Clinton y el presidente
the Secretary of
Obama.
State Clinton
Y
and President
desestimos
Obama's
esas
statements
declaraciones
are the ones that
de la
I
OEA.
will consider to be the U.S. position.
President Zelaya, I want to turn to some of the news reports that came out when you first came into the Brazilian embassy. The Miami Herald on September 24th quoted you as talking about the presence of Israeli mercenaries. And I wanted to ask you about this because this has now become a big issue with the Anti-Defamation League and the Wall Street Journal accusing you of being anti-Semitic. Can you respond to these allegations?
Sí, yo considero que esa es una
I don't
campaña que tiene intenciones de
I
hacer
believe
daño a,
that
a
is a
mi imagen
campaign that is just trying
como
to
político.
smear my image as a politician.
En mi gobierno
In my government,
tuve más bien críticas
I
por
was
haber incorporado personas importantes de la
criticized
sociedad hondureña que
for
practican el
including
judaísmo.
important leaders from the Honduran civil society who practice the Jewish religion.
El señor Jaime Rosenthal y Gianni Rosenthal
Mr. Jaime Rosenthal and Jani Rosenthal.